Hello, folks. Jonathan Milam here, and I do hope you're having a great day. I've got a not just a rare trumpet, but a very rare trumpet. It is an Olds Symphony from 1934, and as this year is 2024, that makes this a grand 90 years old with a 1483 serial number. For the trumpets that they made, they did make trombones before they started making trumpets. Just an absolutely gorgeous instrument. We'll get into some peculiarities of this horn, but going to start off with a GR64M-B Mouthpiece. Then we're going to go to a very deeper one, then a kind of cornet sound. Then we're going to play a vintage Olds mouthpiece, the oldest Olds mouthpiece that I've got. And man, does it fit this trumpet. And we'll wind up with a slightly commercial sound just to show you this trumpet is not just a looker. And what a looker. But it can play just about everything as well. Okay, the 64MB 1934 Olds Symphony. To my ears, that's just a very rich sound. Okay, with the serial of 1483, of course, Olds was making trombones before they began making trumpets. But obviously, and some of their horns, I think I've got one recently that was in the 500,000s. When you're dealing with the 1,483rd trumpet they made, you know you're way back in time. A lot of people are they know the super, they know the recording, the special, the ambassador. Of course, there's a ton of them around. A lot of people, even that know Olds, forget that they did make a symphony. They called this a large bore at the time. It's got the L on it. However, for them at that time, the large bore was about a 459, 460. And that's what we would call medium large today. Strads are 459. A lot of trumpets, Carol Brass, 460. So you're right in the ballpark. But they were making smaller bore instruments at that time. They're large. Is just about what we're used to now. Okay, got a mouthpiece in the mail yesterday with a fantastic trumpet. It's a JK, and I thought, what in the world is that? It's a Joseph Clear. I think it was made in Europe, Klier. Kind of a trumpet flugel mouthpiece. But I like it. It's a perfect fit. And so I thought we would just see how that sounds with a fantastic symphony. Okay, and I've got a mouthpiece that I really like here. Mark Curry made it. It's actually a cornet mouthpiece. I've got a cornet to trumpet adapter here. It's his VC vintage cornet. Love this with older cornets especially. Gives it a deep, breathy tone. And thought we'd see how that sounds with the Symphony before we go to an Olds, which really brings out a tremendous sound in this horn as well. Okay, just fun stuff. Next mouthpiece we've got up will be an Olds, and it just says 27 on it. I don't know, if they what they were doing. I would assume, actually, I think it's a little larger than a 27 drill, but I'm not sure honestly. They just this, as I mentioned, I think it's the oldest Olds mouthpiece that I've got. Now, just a little bit about this horn. It was redone at some point by perhaps Mark Metzler or Tom Green. But I remember thinking, okay, I know the location where they are. Very sorry about that. I thought it was Tom Green, but then something made me think maybe Mark Metzler. Whoever did this did a wonderful job. They replaced the lead pipe and, of course, matched the vintage feel to that lacquer. They, I would think, might have done some work on the bell as well, because it looks awfully nice for a 90-year-old horn. In fact, there's only one imperfection that I can find on the trumpet bell, and I have to really look for it to be able to tell where it is. There's a little, okay, I think we can see it right there. There's a little scratch that goes down from here like to here. Don't think it was a crease, because we don't see anything on the other side. And it's only, there we go. Okay, it's only visible at certain angles. I have to really look to be able to find it. Doesn't last long, but and the way they wound up this, they did the hand hammer down to about maybe 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the bell, and then did a little more artwork around there. Just gorgeous. And my understanding is they actually put 2 layers of metal together, because you don't get that hammered feel on the interior of the bell. My understanding was they didn't want anything interrupting the airflow, but they did use this occasionally. A lot of military models, you don't hardly ever find a Symphony anyway, but and they did this, of course, all the way down through the bell crook, almost to the point where it attaches into the first valve casing piece. Okay, just a couple of other things. I think it was up to the buyer what they wanted, but this has the stop for the main tuning slide and also one for the third slide. So definitely a different setup than the Strat, which you're used to seeing, but they've got a little stop here which you can adjust. I've made it so it's probably about an inch. I think you can go probably at least 1/4 of an inch more. And nice setup for the tuning slide as well. It is also adjustable. They obviously, like I mentioned, they replaced the lead pipe. Compression is excellent. Might have done the, I imagine they did the valves as well. Very good. In fact, I use Ultra Pure. I don't use the classic, the thicker oil. Just use the Ultra Pure, which I use on all the rest of my trumpets as well. Good valve oil. I do like consistency, and I've got the classic. This trumpet just doesn't need it. Very good compression. And same thing with the first and second as well. They did no work, I think, on the valve casing. You can see a little bit of wear right around here. And over on this side, and I was joking with my brother-in-law last night, and I said, hey, for 90 years old, this horn's in better shape than we are in our early 60s. But just a monument to Olds. And if the D and the E in the staff really bother you with the intonation, I play mostly Strads, but I've said for a long time the intonation on the Olds horns, the D and E flat, is better than the Strads today. And this is 90 years old. Don't know how it happens, but it did. It does happen. Okay, I'm going to take this Olds mouthpiece now. And I thought, yeah, I'm sure it'll be kind of neat. Tremendous sound with this trumpet. Just tremendous. Up to the user to bring out the best in it, of course. Okay, and lastly, we will go to a GR lead piece. Oh, I meant to pull one of these valves out just to show you. Oh, just a little tiny bit of wear on these, but basically no spots that are bare, just tremendous. And again, what a tribute to the craftsmanship of Olds. I sold a super recording probably 6 or 8 months ago, maybe a little bit less than that. Wonderful horn. You could just feel those valves, just the feel. And this is like that, very tight valves, but such a solid feel. And it had an Olds Mendez as well that particularly noted such a wonderful feel to the valves. Olds craftsmen were, kudos to them. Kudos to them. Okay, we'll take a slightly more commercial sounding mouthpiece. This trumpet's got a very, with the bell is heavier, gets a very strong sound. And I would say this, in an earlier video one time I said it's got kind of a heavy feel. A little bit lighter than this Bach Stradivarius trumpet, which has the sterling silver plus bell, and a little bit lighter than this custom Jaeger, which I've got again, fantastic horn. Definitely lighter than this Bach Stradivarius, which has got the tunable bell option. It's just over, I think it's 39.3 ounces. Most trumpets usually run 37 to 40, and this is a little bit lighter than a marvelous Scodwell, which I've got on hand. Going to do a video either later today or maybe tomorrow with the Jaeger and the Scodwell, two custom trumpets. Almost never do I have that on hand. And one of them will be leaving the nest shortly as I try and acquire yet another Stradivarius. But back to the Olds Symphony with a slightly commercial mouthpiece with its clear sound. I think this will do very well. It's the GR64M-S medium shallow. When I switch mouthpieces, you go from a GR to a clear to a Curry to an Olds. It's the foundation of the mouthpiece rim that bothers me. But I did want to try and show you what this trumpet will do in the upper register. Very open sound all the way through. We'll give it another shot. All right, what a blast from the past. Olds Symphony from 1934. Wonderful scroll work there. If you can see that, don't have the best lighting to highlight that, but just a marvelous horn and a pleasure to share it with you. As I often say at the end of my videos, do take care of yourself and someone near you.